Hello, welcome to the Papyrus Global TV World News. I am Dofan Dabsa. We bring you verified global development, shaping diplomacy, security, humanitarian response, climate action, and the global economy. From active conflict zones and political decision-making in world capital to climate warning and international support, these are the stories commanding global attention now, with development to watch tomorrow. The world remains shaped by conflicts, diplomacy under pressure, political diversion in major capitals, growing humanitarian needs, and mounting climate concern, all unfolding against a backdrop of economic uncertainty and global interdependence. Here are the top world headlines. Ukraine-Russia war. Fighting continues in eastern Ukraine as indirect diplomatic contacts resume today, February 10, 2026. Gaza conflicts. Humanitarian agencies warn conditions are worsening amid continual Israeli military operations and stalled ceasefire talk. United States President Donald J. Trump faces renewed congressional gridlock over budget, border security, and foreign aid funding. While in United Kingdom, political leadership remain under scrutiny amid domestic pressure and governance concerns. Climate alert. Scientists confirm record Arctic warning recorded in January 2026 with global implications. We begin in Eastern Europe, where the war in Ukraine continues to dominate international security discussion. Fighting between Russia and Ukrainian forces remain intense tonight, particularly in Ukraine's eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. Ukrainian authorities said artillery exchanges and drone activities continue through the day, with renewed concern over pressure on energy and transport infrastructure. At the same time, diplomatic efforts are quietly continuing. Indirect contacts involving Russia and Ukrainian representatives, supported by intermediaries from Europe and the Middle East, are taking place today, February 10th, focusing on limited ceasefire arrangements and humanitarian access. President Volodymyr Zelensky reiterated today that Ukraine's position remains unchanged, full territorial integrity and long-term security guarantees. Moscow, led by President Vladimir Putin, continues to warn against expanded Western military involvement, even as NATO and European Union states maintain military and financial support for Kiev. The conflict continues to affect global energy prices and food supply chains, with development economy feeling the sharpest impact. Turning now to the Middle East, where the war in Gaza remains a central international concern. Israeli military operations continue today in parts of Gaza City and Khan Yunis, with the Israel Defense Forces stating that operations are aimed at dismantling Hamas military and command structures. Following the October 2023 attack that killed more than 1,200 people in Israel, humanitarian condition in Gaza, however, continues to deteriorate. The United Nations and international aid agencies warn that shortages of food, clean water, fuel, and medical supplies have reached critical levels. Hospitals remain overwhelmed and large portions of the population are displaced. Efforts by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States to secure pauses in fighting and facilitate humanitarian access continue today, but no breakthrough has yet been announced. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, speaking this week, again described the situation as a humanitarian catastrophe and called for the protection of civilians under international law. As global conflicts continue, political diversions in major world capitals are also shaping international responses. In Washington, D.C., political gridlock persists under the administration of President Donald J. Trump. Congress remained divided over federal spending priorities, border and immigration enforcement funding, and foreign aid allocations linked to Ukraine and Middle East. This dispute follows funding deadlines faced in late January and early February 2026, raising concerns among U.S. allies and financial markets about the timing and reliability of Americans' commitment. The White House maintained that its policies are focused on protecting U.S. national interests, controlling federal spending, and prioritizing domestic economic stability. Across the Atlantic, the United Kingdom is also experiencing heightened political scrutiny. Public debate continues around governance, economic pressure, and British role on the global stage. Analysts warn that sustained political uncertainty in major democracies could complicate international coordination at a time of heightened global risk. In Africa, the humanitarian situation in Sudan continues to worsen. Fighting between the Sudanese armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the Rapid Support Forces commanded by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, also known as Hemedti, remains active in Khartoum and parts of Darfur. The United Nations reports that millions of civilians have been displaced, with refugees continuing to cross into neighboring countries, including Chad, South Sudan, and Egypt. Health systems are collapsing, food insecurity is widespread, and mediation efforts have yet to secure a lasting ceasefire. In the Asia-Pacific, tensions between China and Taiwan remain elevated. China under President Xi Jinping continued military patrol around Taiwan today, reinforcing Beijing's claim over the East Island. Taiwan's government, led by President Lan Ching-te, has responded by maintaining heightened defensive readiness and strengthening coordination with regional partners. Security analysts warn that any escalation in the Taiwan Strait could severely disrupt global trade and semiconductor supply chains, given Taiwan's central role in global technology manufacturing. Beyond geopolitics, the global economy remains under strain. Central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, continue efforts to control inflation while avoiding economic slowdown. Developing economies face growing debt burden, while airlines and logistics companies adjust operations in response to changing demand and heightened costs. Economists warn that without stronger international coordination, economic uncertainty could deepen in months ahead. Climate concerns are also intensifying as scientists confirm that January 2026 recorded record high Arctic sea surface temperatures, raising alarm about accelerating ice melt and long-term climate impact. Around the world, communities continue to face extreme weather, from flooding and drought to wildfire, underscoring the urgency of global climate action. Despite these challenges, culture and sport continue to offer moments of connections and entertainment to ease the tension. International festivals, creative industries, and global sporting events remain active, while athletes at the Milan Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics continue to compete, drawing worldwide attention and unity. Those are the stories shaping our world, from conflict zones and diplomatic effort to political decisions, humanitarian crisis, economic pressures, and climate warning. These developments continue to affect lives across the continent. For continuous updates and in-depth global reporting, visit thepapyrusdaily.com or reach us at admin@thepapyrusglobal.com. I am Dufan Damsa, and you have been watching the Papyrus Global TV World News. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay safe, and stay with the Papyrus Global Television.